This episode is brought to you by the Thrive Tribe. Thrive Tribe is our all access pass to exclusive content, ad free episodes, a monthly newsletter, and much more. Check it out at chasingbrighter.com/Thrive Tribe. Welcome to Superwomen Diaries, where each week we share personal stories and open up about our journeys. At Chasing Brighter, we know that being a woman today is complicated.
We want to get vulnerable. We know that vulnerability is where real connection happens. Get ready to dive deep and connect as we reveal the real and raw moments behind the scenes of our lives. Hey, Kelly, how are you doing?
Good, Jess. How are you?
I am doing well. There's so many things I want to talk about today.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, I am
Okay.
following the advice of this podcast called Chasing Brighter.
I heard it's pretty good.
I'm walking the
I've
talk.
been listening to it too.
I still think I'm battling, I say head cold. I don't know if it's a sinus infection or like what. And so I had not been sleeping very well. And I know we've been talking a lot about, or I've been talking a lot about my inability to rest and relax. And so I thought, oh, I didn't do very much over the break, and I'm like binge watching shows, which I don't normally do. And that's my way of not producing. What I found was that I think that's the reason I don't watch a lot of TV. It really impacts my sleep. Like I'm solving everyone's problems, or I become a character in the show in my dreams and I wake up all the time. And so sitting around and watching TV, I was like checking that out because I have an issue with sitting and I've decided that's not for me.
What kind of shows are you watching?
I don't
I
like
feel
to
like
watch dramas or cliffhangers or and things that are intense because I know that I do like to watch them, but I know that will impact my sleep. I watched Bridgerton. We watched what else did I watch that was bothering me? There's a show. I don't know, whatever.
Bridgerton bothers you?
No, it doesn't bother. I'm saying like then
Okay.
I'm a character, then I'm like a character
Like
in
you
Bridgerton, or
become
I'm
more
solving people,
consumed,
or
like all consumed.
all I'm saying is that it impacts my sleep. So I caught
Okay.
it. I stopped it. I noticed that I was going back to old habits of if I don't like a book, I'm forcing myself to read it anyway. And so then I wasn't reading before bed because I was like, oh, I don't want to like this book is I'm like trudging through the book.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I looked up, Justin got me another subscription for Book of the Month
Mm-hmm.
for this year. And I looked up those books because I have a lot of memberships to access books across across various things. So I get one Book of the Month pick. I try to pick the one that's not out yet that no one else has access to. And then I look at the other titles and see if I can get the titles on Kindle Unlimited, if I can get the titles on Libby, if I can use my Audible credits for them. So I went through, I refreshed all of these books for my Kindle, and I went back to reading before bed, and immediately I just sleep so much better. And because I don't watch TV right before bed, reading really helps me shift my mind. I shift it, I just focus, get so with a book, my eyes get tired, I fall asleep, I sleep well. Just noticing and troubleshooting for myself, as we're always talking about, right? Life's a journey, and it's just learning for me what works. And so for me, reading before bed helped my sleep. The other thing is I was having headaches, and Kelly and I both have an Alpha-Stim device. So Alpha-Stim is cranial electrotherapeutic stimulation. In the United States, I have an aid that is for anxiety, insomnia, and depression. And in the United States, you have to have an order from a licensed clinician to get an aid. If you're outside the country, it's over the counter everywhere else. Kelly and I each have the M device, which also treats pain. But anyway, so I started clipping up regularly to help with my trouble sleeping and my anxiety, and also helps with headaches. And then I started listening to the daily meditation that you and I have, Kelly,
Yes.
which has
Yes.
inspired me. I will be creating a daily meditation, and that will be for our Thrive Tribe, which is our subscription service. For $7.99 a month, you get access to our newsletter, bonus episodes, ad-free episodes, and I will be adding in a meditation and listening to the meditation and clipping up, just doing all of those things instead of like passively not thriving. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And I think it's great because you're putting your sleep hygiene in the forefront and
Yeah.
adopting all of these different habits to support that, which is really
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
I think for myself, I'm largely okay on the sleep train, except I have, unfortunately, a couple things I have to say about what you're saying. First of all, I have an Alpha-Stim as well, courtesy of you, and I don't use it as often as I should. When I do have periods of high anxiety, I do use it. I've been sleeping okay, but my issue has been the waking up for Wes, who has baseball training at 6 a.m. a couple days a week. So,
Yeah.
I'm usually in bed by 9:30 easy. Between 9 and 9:30, I'm in bed and I'm usually asleep between 9:30 and 10. Now, there are things that have come up lately that sometimes I'm up a little later for whatever reason. One of the things I noticed though, Jess, with my sleep, for the most part, I sleep well. Times of stress, I take a cortisol manager supplement and then also the Alpha-Stim to help because otherwise I have my mid waking because of my cortisol levels.
So I just want to say I take a cortisol manager every single day. And then when there's high stress, I double
You take
dose. And
two.
I've been doing that as well. I've been
I take
taking
two
two.
every
They're
single
like
day right
horse
now.
pills at
I
this
know they
point. They're
are,
so big.
but they
Oh.
help manage the cortisol. And it's one of
Mm-hmm.
those where you can't take them once. It's a maintenance. You need to take them for a good several days before you start to see the sleep benefits, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing I was going to say though is if I am on my phone, so if I'm usually shopping, grocery shopping, shopping for something for a person in my household, if I'm doing that for more than like a couple minutes before bed, and I'm talking about an hour before bed that I need to shut my phone off. If I don't, it will significantly disrupt my sleep. And
Yeah.
we know that screens disrupt the production of melatonin
Mm-hmm.
and they inhibit our sleep from listening to Dr. Matthew Walker in his
Yep.
book.
Yep.
But it's amazing how much it just really does screw up your sleep. The other thing I was actually going to say in parallel to what you were talking about with headaches is Beckett has been on his screen a lot over Christmas break and he was getting headaches. And the boys got these free like blue blocker glasses,
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
screen glasses
Yeah.
a couple years ago. And I have been making him wear those when
Yeah.
he's on his iPad and his headaches have gone away. Like it's the eye strain that
Yeah,
is
it's so
impacting
funny.
him.
So I had someone in my life that was like, "Oh, my eye doctor," or they read it, or someone said that they don't work and it's stupid. Our eye doctor actually encouraged it, and my 14-year-old has a pair, and he's had a pair for a while, and I bought some during COVID because I was doing so much telehealth, and we already had an episode almost solely dedicated to glasses from Zenni Optical because I got more. And I think it does help. It helps my eye redness and it helps with eye strain. I totally think so. I believe
I
in them.
love, yes, and I do love Zenni, and I'm going to buy I just want to get a pair that I can wear with my contacts. I have Brian on to Zenni. He was looking,
Yeah.
and then we were like measuring stuff and he was trying stuff out because I have so many frames. He can try my frames on to see the different
Yeah.
sizes too.
And also, listeners, just know we are not supported, sponsored, or connected to Zenni in any way. This is just
No, we are
personal
not.
experience that we're obsessed. But the big tortoiseshell ones I went to order those for Gabby and the pupillary distance, because they're like giant. So I need to remeasure her pupillary distance and find another pair because they're too, like for actual glasses, it says it won't work with her prescription.
Yes.
But
Yeah, that's what Brian's challenge is finding ones. The other part too is I was like, your face is bigger. And he was like, what do you mean? And I was like, all the things that I've bought there are like size medium. And so he tried
mm,
on my like aviators, my gold
yeah.
rims, and they were like really small. I
I
realize like
have a
that
giant, like everyone's face is different. Mine is very big. I have to have big glasses and a big
his
wide face.
like I don't know if it would be the same though, because you have still like a feminine kind of face in some way where like
Oh,
the
in some
glasses
way.
look
Thank
smaller. His glasses look smaller
you. I
than
think, but
on
it's
his
so funny
face.
because I don't think it has to do with like weight or size, but like Justin's head is literally bigger than mine. Like with hats, I can't wear. He wears
Yeah.
fitted hats. I
Yeah.
can't wear his
Yes,
hats.
that's my point is you
However, for glasses, he has like smaller glasses than I would wear. So it's all interesting how it's all like proportional and whatnot.
yes.
But yeah, so blue lights for people. And I also think though, I don't think that means, oh, just put on blue light blockers and be on screens before bed. I think
Oh yeah,
it's just
100%.
a
Yeah, yeah.
reminder to clean up your sleep hygiene. And I know I work with so many people, and I talked about this before, but just anecdotally, the first thing I always address with my clients is sleep. And then we went down the rabbit hole of the interviews with Dr. Pediatia on his podcast, A Drive with Dr. Matthew Walker. And then we read Dr. Matthew's book. And if you're interested, season one, we have 2 episodes dedicated to Dr. Matthew Walker's book, Why We Sleep, which is a great book. But basically, sleep solves almost everything. And so if you are struggling, and it's so great to be able to get good sleep again. I just think it's like my mood, my energy levels, and then just recognizing again, I'm trying to figure out that balance of resting and self-care versus producing and always working. And so just trying to like continue to figure that out because I am working really hard on that message that I am not worthy unless I am achieving. Really working on that
Mm.
one this year. We follow Rants and Big Pants with Nina Ambrose, and she talks about midlife, fashion, beauty, menopause. She's a digital creator, and it's with Nina and Tosh. Okay. And they had a talk about Manjaro, right? And Tosh is taking it. And so they talk a lot about being midlife, mid-size, fashion when you're curvier, but then Tosh is on Manjaro. And so they had a really great reel on it, just talking about it. And so Nina was saying, I would love to be one size lower, but I'm not going to hate myself on that journey. And so what I'm talking about is the space that is not allowed. It's like you're either anti diet culture and loving your body, right? Or you're part of diet culture. And it is very difficult to carve out a space where you are talking about loving yourself and loving your body, but also wanting to change your body. And so it was just really fascinating. The comments that were happening there, Alex Light, who we love so much, she has a podcast now, and her podcast is so anti-diet culture that they were showing a clip, and this guy was like, there is absolutely no evidence to ever show that fasting helps your body in any way. Meanwhile, I've worked with several healthcare providers who have encouraged fasting for me for a numerous health reasons, and I've read so many studies on it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just so it's so hard to carve out the space of loving yourself but wanting to change.
It's I was working out the other day and the trainer I was working with was like, what did you work out on yesterday? Because we'll do something different today. And then I was like, I did everything. And it was like, well, you need a break between workouts. And I was like, you know what, lady? Like, I got a busy life. And if I'm going to weight train 2 days in
Yeah.
a row, like, I'm going to weight train 2 days in a row. I don't have the luxury of being like, oh, I'm going to do a Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 9 to 10 and I'll just squeeze it in. Like, that it's frustrating, I think, when you hear all these things that you're supposed to be doing and it just prevents you from just getting things done or doing what
Yeah.
works for you. And so I think part of what we focus on in Chasing Brighter so much, even going back to the sleep and even wrapping up this whole topic, is listening to yourself,
Yes.
listening
And
to your body
I
and
know
knowing how
I'm
to take care of yourself.
totally, and I'm so tired of hearing another theory. Like when someone tells me a theory, I want to like kick him in the throat, punch him in the throat because I've read books and I've talked to experts and I have done different things and now I know what works best for
Yes,
me.
yes,
And
yes.
that's what they were talking about on the rants and big pants about the woman was saying, I want to live really long and be really healthy and I am really worried about my health and I need to lose a little bit of weight to get things in order. And I understand the pushback because I don't think that weight and health necessarily have to do with each other. I know plenty of thin people who are very unhealthy, so it doesn't equal it out, right? But that can be I am putting stress on my heart and my knees and my joints and my body if I am heavy.
Yeah.
And if you are not moving your body regularly, regardless of your size, that is not good for you either. So
Yeah, there's a very
it's so
practical, logical
interesting.
view. Yeah.
Yeah. And it reminds me too, like when Kelly and I talk about products or talk about things we're using or taking, one of the reasons that we started this podcast was because we want to be a guide. We are a resource for so many friends, so many people in our personal and professional lives, like who are asking us questions. Well, how'd you do that? How'd you do that? And it's like, we just want to say, hey, look, we're trying this out. We read this
Yes.
article. We want to
Yeah.
try it for ourselves. We want to see if it's good. It's not like you absolutely have to do it, or it's just like maybe that lines up with what you were wondering about or something you were exploring. And so we want you, hey, you can check that out then because this is what we found out. It's all about just like we're talking about, right? We want midlife to be our best life. And so that's troubleshooting and trying what works best for you.
Yeah. Yes. The pursuit. Exactly.
Thanks for listening today. Don't forget to subscribe so you can hear our latest episodes as soon as they drop.
If you loved today's episode, share with a friend.
Join us each week as we bring you inspiring stories, expert interviews, and actionable tips to help you navigate the challenges and opportunities of midlife. From wellness to personal growth to connection and beyond, we've got you covered.
We are passionate about helping you live your brightest, most fulfilling life. Together, we'll explore new ways to thrive and grow, ensuring that your midlife journey is full of joy, purpose, and endless possibilities.
So, are you ready to chase brighter days ahead? Subscribe to Chasing Brighter now, and let's embark on this exciting journey together.
Find us on Instagram, Facebook at Chasing Brighter, or check out our blog at chasingbrighter.com and follow us. If you want to know more about Kelly and I, read our blogs, find more tips, tools, and resources, check that out at chasingbrighter.com. Thanks. Remember, your best life is just a listen away.